If you've ever done the hokey pokey, there's this famous line that says, that's what it's all about. And some people who practice and teach positive psychology would argue that just teaching mindfulness, helping people be more present, be more engaged with their life, is actually all we need to do in order to help them feel like they're flourishing and that they're thriving. So I ask you this question, maybe mindfulness is what it's all about. And there's a Buddhist saying that is called the second arrow. And it goes like this. It says, in life, we cannot always control the first arrow. However, the second arrow is our reaction to the first, and the second arrow is optional. It's this idea that when we're triggered, the first arrow that we throw is our initial gut level response. If someone triggers you to feel angry, that might mean that they're violating your rights. If a thought comes up and it's making you worry, that is the first response. But it's our decision whether or not we keep feeding that thought, whether we keep engaging that process of feeling worried or afraid in a way that can lead to anxiety, or do we keep engaging that angry thought over and over again to the point where it turns into rage. We can't control the first arrow in life, but the second is our choice of how we react to the things that we are experiencing. And in many ways, that's what mindfulness practice is and why it matters. We can't control the first arrow, but the second arrow is ours if you can have the mindfulness to even notice that you're shooting arrows in the first place. This adage of focusing one's attention, focusing one's mind has been around for millennia. William James himself said the faculty of voluntarily bringing back a wandering attention over and over again is the very root of judgment, character, and will. He says no one is compos sui, or master of oneself, if he has it not. And he says an education which should improve this faculty would be an education par excellence. Imagine if we were teaching this in schools. Imagine if we all learned how to focus our attention. Children in particular are told this a lot in school. They're told to pay attention. Pay attention, sit up straight, pay attention. But nobody actually teaches you how. How do we pay attention? How do we focus our attention? Mindfulness training does just that. And when we can train that mindfulness, we gain control of our thoughts and our experience. So in many ways, one of the reasons why mindfulness matters is it gives us a choice in our response. And just the way this image illustrates that the universe is filled with beautiful things that you probably stepped on while staring at your phone, it is likely that we are all walking around in ways that we can benefit from greater mindfulness practice. The world is filled with beautiful things, and oftentimes there are also conflicting things that pull on our attention. The ability to choose where your attention goes can redirect some of the mindless ways in which our world today pulls on our thoughts, pulls on our emotions, and pulls on our behavior. And another cartoon to illustrate this is the question, are you mindful or is your mind full? And here you have this image of the person walking with their dog, and the person has so many things going on inside their mind. They're thinking about cars, they're thinking about money, they're thinking about work, as well as the trees and the sun, whereas the dog is just thinking about the trees and the sun. We as humans have this amazing power of our brain. Our prefrontal cortex, our neocortex, the new regions of our brain, separate us from other mammals. They give us the ability to think about the future. But when we have the ability to think about the future, we are also matched with a mind that tends to get hijacked in many directions. So while we cannot walk just like our dogs, fully being in the present moment on our own, we can train our attention and train ourselves to be able to choose, to be able to be in the park walking with the trees and sun when we do not want to be thinking about work, about money, about worries, about things that people have said to us. This process of training our attention is an important factor of flourishing and well-being. Some questions for you to consider. What role does mindfulness play in your life? And what would it look like if you were to just become 10% more mindful on a day-to-day basis?